The violations will end in your death. Pangu? A low-level mining operation system once known as Beta Leonis, the home of Bros Elite, Board Rangers of Outer Space Elite, who secure the boundaries of space from hostile alien species. Okay. Bookmark location. No. Bookmark here. Bah! Okay, let me just fiddle with this a little. Ross 154, Outdoor Ice and Water World. Tourism and Fishing. And Kevin Costner. They had a reference to that teapot thing in Stellaris. You actually find a fucking teapot. To read the one that's now public domain, but remember, I read one, but it wasn't public domain. There's one here by W.E. Gladstone that is. Him rival to the gods I place, him loftier yet, if loftier be, who, Lesbia, sits before thy face, who listens and who looks on thee. Thee smiling soft, yet this delight, that all my senses consign to death, for when thou dawnest on my sight, how wretched flits my labouring breath. My tongue is palsied, subtly hid, fire creeps through my fire creeps me through from limb to limb. My loud ears tingle all on bid. Twin clouds of night, mine eyes bed 'em. Ease is my plague, ease makes thee void. Catullus, with these vacant hours and wanton ease that hath destroyed great kings and states with all their powers. For those who don't know Catullus, that's fine. I only know of him because I took a class in secondary school in classics. Catullus was a Roman poet of a more modern variety. Poets at that time focused on it's like Homer or Virgil. They focused on, great battles or great epics. Catullus is like any poet you can find nowadays. They do poetry on things that matter to them, that are more personal and maybe more mundane. Like, Catullus did a poem dedicated to his brother's passing. That's what I read first. He did a poem dedicated to his friend to comfort him in his wife's passing. According to one of Catullus's poems, he was considered the worst poet in all of Greece because he didn't do epics. Oh, sorry, not all of Greece, all of Rome. He was considered the worst poet because he didn't do epics.
System scan complete.
Oh, beautiful. He was considered the worst poet because he didn't do epics. He only did personal things. He did so many in Lesbia. For those who don't know, Lesbia was a woman that he was madly into, as you may gather from some of the poem I read there on her, if you could translate it from Old English. He was mad. He was absolutely mad about her, but she was a married woman, though she was infamous for cheating constantly on her husband. He was mad about her, but she had little interest in him. So he wrote poems that... sorry, let me start again. Lesbia wasn't her name. It was a pseudonym he gave her, but that had the same phonetic quality as her name, so we could easily slot it out. But it was an open secret, basically. Everyone knew who Lesbia was. There wasn't anyone who didn't know. Well, sorry, I'm talking off the cuff here. Everyone knew who Lesbia was. It was an open secret. He still kept using Lesbia in his poems, but it was an open secret that she was who he meant. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. My mind keeps blanking. I have difficulties remaining focused. I'm very scatterbrained. It's quite frustrating. But yes, he used Lesbia instead of her actual name to try and offer, I guess, if you're writing about your, love sickness, you aren't going to be blunt about the name, I guess. Maybe privacy, maybe decency. But everyone knew who he meant. I think she was quite infamous for the amount of affairs she had on her husband. But in his poems, he's torn on, does he love her or does he hate her? Like, she doesn't return his feelings, and in some poems, he's fine with that, he accepts it. While in others, he quite dislikes her for it. And in one poem, he actually even acknowledges this. So, but yeah, he's quite torn on how he feels about her.
System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Shit. But yeah, in his poems he's quite torn on how he feels of her. Sometimes he hates her, sometimes he's mad about her. I don't know what poems are public domain and what aren't. Maybe if I could find some translated by Lord Byron, that should be public domain. I think he died quite a while back. Okay, here's one from 1600s. And this is translated by Thomas Campion. But yeah, he's rather conflicted on what he felt on her. This is another love one of his, but there's others where he's basically cursing her name. Sorry, that was all very scattered. Basically, he was in love with a married woman. She didn't return his feelings, but she had plenty of affairs with other guys. He used a pseudonym for her, but everyone knew who it was. The pseudonym had the same phonetic quality as her actual name, so he could easily switch it around. What was her actual name? I haven't a clue. I think you can look it up and easily find it. Lesbia. Poems of Catullus. He's apparently chief representative of the new poets. Saying about him. Lesbia is traditionally identified with Claudia, the wife of Quintus Caelinius Metellus Celar, and sister of Publicius Claudius Pulchar. I can't say these are fucking Latin. I can't say some Irish names. What do the fucking Romans have? Chance do they have? But in 25 of his surviving 116 poems, she's the subject of them. From Tender Love in Catullus 5 and 7 to Sadness and Disappointment in 72, The Bitter Sarcasm in 8, and following the often unsteady course of Catullus' relationship. I'm just literally read it off Wikipedia there. Apparently she was his lover. I thought she didn't return his feelings. Maybe she didn't return his feelings, but they were She did return some of them. She just didn't return them as deeply as he felt them. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
So I'll read this next poem. Let us love, let us live in love. Catullus 5. My sweetest lesbia, let us live in love. And though the sager sword our deeds reprove, let us not waver. Heaven's great lamps do dive into their west, and straight again revive. But as soon as once set is our little light, then we must sleep one ever-enduring night. If all would lead their lives in love like me, the bloody swords and armor should not be. No drums, nor trumpet, peaceful sleeps should move, unless alarm came from camp of love. But fools do live and waste their little light, and seek with pain their ever-enduring night. When timely death my life and fortune ends, let not my heart be vexed with mourning friends, but let all lovers rich in triumph come, and with sweet pastime grace my happy tomb. And Lesbia, close up thou my little life, and crown with love my by ever-enduring night. So, now I feel like I need to try and explain what that's meant to mean. Okay, basically, he's just talking about his love for her, and then if all loved as he did, then there would be no need for swords and armor, no trumpet or a drum or trumpet to disturb peaceful sleep. The people would just basically enjoy their life in, peace and love, and till their time was up, and that fools are chasing after the ever-enduring night, their death. But fools do live and waste their little life. Basically, idiots do things opposite to him and chase after their death rather than enjoying what little life they have. And that when his life ends, he doesn't want people to be mourning him, but I guess, and to put it another way, you know how St. Valentine's Day is a lover's celebration and whatnot? I guess he kind of wanted that for himself. Though, before St. Valentine was presumably born. He wanted it to be he didn't want his hearse to be vexed by mourning friends, but let all lovers rich in triumph come, and with sweet pastime grace my happy tomb. I guess he wanted them to have an orgy, or multiple, paired sex in his tomb. I'm being a little flippant here, but yeah, he seems to have wanted. He was mad about love, and seems to wanted his death not to be a point of sorrow, but to, I guess, as a time for people to commemorate it, to commemorate their love. Such was his devotion to it. Look, I'm an aspiring writer. I'm good at bullshitting things out. If it's accurate, that's another thing entirely. Let me see if I can find Lord Byron's poems on him. Translations. I don't know much about Lord Byron himself. He was an interesting figure. Wikipedia was claiming that he was into younger guys, underage guys, but I don't know. What I have heard elsewhere was that he was a big fan of animals. He wasn't allowed to bring his dog to one of the Trinity colleges out there. I think the one in England. There's one here in Ireland. There's one in America. One over in England, and presumably more. But those are the ones I know of. He wasn't allowed to bring his dog, so he brought his pet bear. Apparently, one of his friends stayed at his house once, and he'd like random peacocks and hens just wandering around it. And he couldn't help but look at the antics of the animals and wonder what human they used to be in a previous life. Actually, my cat once responded to me. Not in English, but I asked her to be nice to Lily. She wasn't doing well, and the cat's purr deepened. And then she turned away and was looking at the door. And I was like, no, Mama Zens, I need an answer. She turns back and looks at Lily and purrs deeply again, as if responding to me. Lord Byron did translate these. Okay, when was Lord Byron around? He did die a while back, right? Yeah. 1788 to 1824. People also make a point that you shouldn't hold people of the past by modern standards because everyone will fail. But it still just makes me like, if he was like that, it's just still I feel a little, on principle. Equal to Jove, that you must be greater than Jove, he seems to me. Oh, it's just yet another translation of that one. Still, it's actually quite an interesting one. Though Jove isn't. I don't know. That feels like a rather very much a later on edition. Who free from jealousy's alarms, secure views that match his charms, that cheek which ever dimpling glows, that mouth from whence such music flows. To him alike are always known, reserved for him and him alone. Ah, Lesbia, though 'tis death to me, cannot choose but look on thee. Whilst trembling with 1,000 fears, parched through the throat my tongue adheres. My pulse beats quick, my breath heaves short, my limbs deny their slight support. Cold dews my pallid face, overspread with deathly languor, droops my head. My ears with tingling echoes ring, and life itself is on the wing. My eyes refuse the cheering light, their orbs are veiled in starless night. Such pangs my nature sinks beneath, and feels a temporary death. I swore Byron had translated more.
Scan detected.
Imitated from Catullus to Ellen. Chat with nearby girls. Notes from Supreme Fiction. This rude hottie digs me? What's up, nerd? The ads you find on things. From Catullus to Ellen. Oh, might I kiss those eyes of fire, million scarce quench the desire. Still would I oh fuck, I forgot to bring stuff back with me. I was too giddy. I had an extra run to my stuff now. A million scarce will quench desire, still would I steep my lips in bliss, and dwell an age on every kiss. Nor would my soul nor then my soul should stated be. Still would I kiss and cling to thee. Naught should my kiss from thine dissever. Still would we kiss and kiss forever. And though the numbers did exceed the all harvest endless seed, to part would be a vain endeavor. Could I desist? Ah, never, never. Again, actually rather like Byron's twang. Again, why couldn't we have covered him than Sylvia Plath? The driest of dry. The boringest of boring. Yeah, there's some there, but
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Sorry, I could buy from the other settlement, but there's a lift there.
Landing coupler retracted. You are clear to depart.
Da, 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 dun, 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 dun. Delete. Wait. Really? Trade. No, it's Ross 151. It's getting locked out of the game. Into the browser. There we go. Okay, it's telling me. No, I didn't go through Saul. Went near it. Yeah, I went. Mark here, plan route. Thank you. For a moment, I was like, shit, is the journey shorter than I remember? I would love if I could have a Guardian FSD boost, because that just increases how far you can jump for like no fuel cost by a flat amount. It's beautiful. I don't have access to one. I need a... Fuck, the star systems are breaking into maths now. So I'll also find the name. It's a more endgame kind of thing. Like, I would imagine. It sounds potent. Oh.
Frameshift drive charging.
But yeah, I like the twang of Byron. Again, why couldn't we have covered him?
Clear of the station perimeter. Have a safe journey, Commander.
3, 2,
Apparently the Greeks revere him as a national hero. It was part of the Greek War for Independence. And while he didn't pull off any military victories, he did do some humanitarian victories. And is well loved for them. He's actually a statue dedicated to him. He paid for medical treatment for anyone, regardless of their religion, whether they be Christian or otherwise.
frameshift drive charging.
Christian or Muslim, according to one read. There was also one story I remember hearing. He had a falling out with a friend of his. So that friend, when he disappeared, Byron disappeared, that friend sent another friend that was still friends with him to go investigate, to find out where he is and was he still alive. So that friend finds Lord Byron. I think it was Byron. Now I'm starting to blur. I don't even know if it's true. I couldn't find any evidence to it, but it's still a funny story. Malnourished in a brothel. I presume as a patron rather than anything else. And when the friend he'd falling out with, but who still cared, I heard this, he was just like, you should have left him there. More out of, annoyment at him than anything else. But yeah.
Frameshift drive charging.
That's one story I've heard about him. But yeah, he died of disease leading a campaign during the war. He was at 36. And his only legitimate child is Ada Lovelace, apparently. Regarded as a foundational figure in the field of computer programming, based on her notes for Charles Babbage's analytical engine.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Thinking I might shift away from the armor I'm using on this ship right now and go for the lightweight one.
Frameshift drive.
I mean, I go that bit faster. It seems... No, he's done 2. I swore he's done more. Okay, here's another one. Ye cupids droop each little head, nor let your wings with joy be spread. My Lesbia's favourite bird is dead, whom dearer than her eyes she loved, for he was gentle and so true. Obedient to her call he flew, no fear wild alarm he knew, but lithely over her bosom moved, and softly fluttering here and there. He never sought to cleave the air, but chirped oft and free from care, tuned to her ear his grateful strain. Now, having passed the gloomy bourne, from whence he can never return, his death and Lesbia's grief I mourn, but who sighs, alas, but sighs in vain. O cursed be thou, devouring grave, whose jaws eternal victims crave, and from whom no earthly power can save, for thou hast ta'en the bird away. From thee my Lesbia's eyes overflow, her swollen cheeks with weeping glow. Thou art the cause of all our woe, the receptacle of life's decay. I chose to look up the Byron poems simply because I knew for damn sure his would be public domain.
Fuel scooping.
I'm not paying a damn license on something I'm just pissing about with.
Disengaged.
Plus, he's got a, now that I'm reading them, he does have a fantastic twang to his things.
Ready to engage.
I should delete it. Yeah, I will. I made a point on a post and now I just feel awkward. I'm just gonna delete it. Felt like that brought me closer to normal. Gonna have to bring Cobalt back from here. Damn it, now I feel like everything I have to say needs to rhyme. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to bring Cobalt back from here. That's what I forgot to buy the last time, I do believe. I love stories. People were talking about mankind going to space and whatnot. I love stories like Death Worlders. I've never read the where that phrase comes from. But basically, there's the idea, like, you see... Basically, there's a story online called Death Worlders, where humans are... We think of ourselves in a particular light, but once we get out to space and there's a galactic community and we join it, we realize we were kind of underplaying ourselves. Like, we see so many critters on our world, they're so much dangerous than us, but we are better than them due to our technology and equipment. When we join the galactic community, we're like that, in a sense, to the galactic community. Like, we can rip, you know how alligators or a bear can rip us apart? We're like that to our alien species. We're a sapient species that grew up in a death world. We're a lot more dangerous and whatnot than the others ones would be that didn't. Is the point. There's some series online, and I remember hearing about it. That's the crux of it. It's what I call Death Worlders. I've never gone around to reading it. There's apparently a lot to it, but I always love stories of that vein. You see some on Tumblr, then you see some elsewhere. A friend of mine sent me some from 4chan. 4chan does come out with some great posts. There was another one someone wrote of a dog. Like, they were making a point that 2 dogs will be like elves. Think about it. A dog is born, dies, and we stay relatively the same. Like, they grow up, they go grey, they pass away, and we're still about approximately how we were. I look a little older, but our lives, like, they can live to 15. We can live to our 70s, 80s, 90s. There's people in their hundreds. Like, we're so much longer lived. So there's a post from 4chan that was actually very touching. I was tearing up, saying it again to Mom earlier, about like a dog noticing that their owner was going to pass away, that they had grown grey, how that dog was going to be the last the owner had, that the owner had given the dog's pups to their kids, and the dog wanted to be with the owner to the end, to go with them. It was very touching, and it's a random post on 4chan, but yeah, love those kind of someone's talking about humanity spreading across the stars like a plague of iron. Love that kind of death worlder thing, like humanity being these, due to like the rough planet, the galactic community grew up on softer, nicer planets. So here comes a sapient species from a dead world. A lot scarier. Remember seeing one before, and they were just little bitches. Like, they were plant people, and despite them doing pretty much what humans have done, because humans aren't plant people, they constantly, repeatedly shat on us. But they were in the majority, so there's shit-all that could be done.
Authorization cleared.
Not doesn't quite groove with what I was saying, but I ended up stumbling onto it when I was reading it. Like, we have teeth, they didn't. Seeing a human smile reminds them of their predators, and they lose their shit. So similarly, they can't see human skin without losing their mind. Pretty much have to walk around in a full hazmat suit. But, yeah, different ones play it differently. Like, those went it that way about it. While others have played, like, I saw one where, like, there was an alien race. They suffered a major catastrophe on their planet, and they didn't have the equipment to be able to get people out of the wreckage. Humans just come along, save everyone, give the tech over to help them out, and just leave. They're terrifying if you piss them off, but they'll just help you out, just cause. There was another one where they accidentally introduced a plague from Earth to the aliens, and then they're creeping the aliens out because they're like, oh yeah, we just found this virus that preys on that virus in our natural ecosystem. And they proceed to virus bomb the planet with that secondary virus to kill off the first one. I had a better example in my head, but now I've forgotten it, because I went on about the elf thing. I remember one my friend sent me. Basically, aliens being creeped out at humans drinking what's like liquid poison to them. It's just alcohol to us, but it's like it would just like melt them if they were to just look at it. I'm being flippant, but yeah, love that kind of thing. Oh, there was Last War of the Gwyn. I remember there's a post on Tumblr. I mentioned a guy before in my Destiny 2 videos, and that was actually also in Hedden. Stephanus Rex. He's read out different things, and one of the things he read out was The Last War of the Gwyn. I don't know where he got them from. I imagine 4chan, but there was a similar, very similar post over on Tumblr. Just some names changed, like barcodes filed off, but it came out after Stephanus Rex read. Still, who knows? That could be the what he read could be a rip off of an older post, and that's a reposting of the older post. I have no idea, but yeah, Last Word of Gwyn. That was kind of in that vein. Basically, there was this ascendant alien species that came up against humanity, and it went very poorly for them. Like, they'll win some victories, but humanity would fling everything they had at them. Men, women, children. Oh, just tried to fuck them over. Because it kind of turned into total war. But, not the series, but the actual shtick. The actual thing. And in the end, humanity came not as conquerors. Like, yeah, they broke the planet militarily, but they patched the place up. And, you know, in the end, the alien species became part of humanity. It was inducted in. And the whole thing turns out to be a speech from one of the Gwyn at the time of the humans taking the planet. He's grown up and he's now going to become president of humanity. Or, you know, the human faction. He did a reading of that, which I do quite recommend. He also did readings of... I'm not sure where he got them, where he did some character voice and read out pickup lines, but I'm not sure if they're joke lines from a game, or they just like, it'll be funny hearing it in this character's voice or what, but it's like, baby, I'm so mad about you, even my pants are falling for you. Baby, I could fall madly in bed with you. This kind of thing, it's hysterical. But yeah, sorry, I kind of rambled off the point I was getting at. But yeah, the Plague of Iron thing, love seeing the, you know, human Death Worlders thing. Basically, like I was saying, it's humanity we've grown up on the Death World. You kind of don't realize it till you leave it. If that's your only frame of reference, you don't know it. But we were like, basically the crux of those kind of stories are humanity grew up in a Death World, joins the galactic community of species that didn't even think it was possible for a sapient race is to turn, you know, like us, to appear on a Death World. Like, if it was a Death World, it would just be fierce predators, but nothing intelligent, you know? So here comes humanity that's intelligent and the fucking Death Worlders. And so their stats are just higher than anyone else's. Where, like, they survive wounds that others just the person would just be wrote off over. Like, I actually remember another one where aliens found a derelict ship, and inside they find a fridge smeared in blood. They open it and they find a person. Basically, the ship had gotten totaled. They were going to die. There was a fridge or something they could seal themselves into. It's like a rudimentary cryo chamber. But it was for something a lot smaller than them. They cut their limbs off, hacked themselves up, and just had the door shut on them. And that was just put down to human stubbornness and just Death Worlder mentality. think that was one I saw on Tumblr. Some good posts can come out of that shit all. Some. I wouldn't put money on it. You would lose. I wouldn't bet my soul on it. I would lose. You know, but some good posts can come out of the place. Some people are actually stable enough on the site. A lot of them are cuckoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Fuck, there's a lifting fandom. If you aren't in the know, you might wonder, what, Palanai, Philip, what the issue do you have with weightlifting? It's not weightlifting. It's people going into stores, stealing makeup, saying it's to feed their starving family, that kind of thing. They need that Gucci handbag to feed their starving family, or they'll act as if it's going to feed their starving family, but they just want it because they want it. I can't shame them for wanting it, but I can shame them for, wow, doing what they're doing. Also, I didn't realize we're already cordial. Nice. That Sal really boosted us up. Oh yeah, you can see here profit. How much money I'm actually going to make off this. Still fantastic cash. Now, if I go down to here, damn it.